Beijing Biden is absolutely a thing. It's not just nice alliteration. It's not just a joke. It's not just a quip. If you look from Peter Schweizer's Secret Empires, which is a fantastic book on how politicians sell the nation out in order to enrich themselves, if you look at evidence from that, and indeed, I thank you for mentioning our latest investigative piece at the National Pulse, Max Baucus. Now, let's think about who Max Baucus was. He was Joe Biden's pick for who Obama should name ambassador to China in 2014. He then occupied that role and came back to the United States and is now consulting with CCP-linked companies like Tencent. It strikes me as not just unconscionable from a moral perspective that this would be the case, but how is it even legal that somebody whose job was purportedly to represent the United States in China now retires from that role and represents Beijing in the United States? It simply cannot be the case that this can continue. And all the while, Beijing Biden himself was getting kickbacks from the Chinese Communist Party, kickbacks for his son Hunter Biden. As we know, the same thing happened in Ukraine. And now, here's the kicker. Here's what people are really missing about all of this. And here's what incenses me every time I stupidly turn on CNN just to see what the enemy media is doing in the evenings, is if this was somebody on the political right, Max Baucus would have been a 3-day news story after we popped that exclusive story in the National Pulse. But instead, it's swept under the carpet, and they want to talk about why President Trump isn't wearing a mask when he goes to a factory, when he's standing 20 foot away from the nearest person to him. You can hear how much it makes me angry that the media don't run these stories down and don't do their jobs. They are not fair. And here's what we have to do as a result of it. We have to work doubly as hard, triply as hard to make sure that these stories get to ordinary people. And I'm one of these guys who understands that if I'm not part of one of the established institutions, fine, you don't have to believe me up front. But what I am going to do is I'm going to provide you a story with every single link and citation in it. And then it's up to the public to go away and make their minds up as to whether or not I was telling the truth. Fine, that's on me. But from the outset, people like Max Baucus and Joe Biden have sold America out over decades. And I think, and I pray, and I hope that over the next couple of months, we're going to see that fully litigated.
Yeah.